My name is Russell Muirhead. I teach in the government department at Dartmouth College. I'm at Dartmouth College right now on the ground floor of Silsbee in my office, 115, right across from Baker Library. I'm here today to talk with you a little bit about Thucydides, the famous ancient Greek historian, some say the first historian in Western culture, and his book, The Peloponnesian War, in which in this midst, at the beginning, really, book 2 of this very large account of this very long war between Athens and Sparta, 25, 30-year war. Thucydides gives us an account of a plague that struck Athens in 430 before the Common Era, 430 BC. It's only a page or two, but it's a searing account, an unforgettable account, and it's come to our attention recently through an article in the Atlantic Monthly, What the Great Plague of Athens Can Teach Us Now, just published a couple weeks ago by Catherine Kalaitis, resident scholar of the National Hellenic Museum. Pandemics, Ms. Kalaitis says, don't make your character, they reveal it. Athenians, though they thought of themselves as lawful, virtuous, courageous, open, inquisitive, tolerant, hardworking, decent people, though they thought of themselves this way, the plague, in fact, revealed what they really were. It revealed that they were lawless, not lawful, impious, and hedonistic. The plague revealed them for what they really were, and it gave them what they really deserved: defeat. The plague weakened Athens, and many speculate contributed to their ultimate defeat in the many decade-long Peloponnesian War. And beyond that, to the decline, not just of ancient Athenian civilization, but also of their form of government, democracy. It led, in Catherine Kalaitis' view, to a situation in which the proto-totalitarian Plato could flourish. It led to an Athens that would commit murder against its finest citizen, the founder of philosophy, Socrates. The plague, she says, revealed something to Athenians that they never forgot. It tested them, she tells us. It tested them, and they were found wanting. The people of Athens failed. She says they abandoned the values that had been at the heart of their ability to govern themselves. They failed. And their failure, a failure like theirs, is what we now, in 2020, must resist. We, she says, must overcome the twin vices of self-interest and fear by actively rejecting them. The ancient Athenians failed to do this, she writes, and they lost their democracy. Now the same choice is ours. What we see in this fascinating piece in the Atlantic, which you can call up onto your browsers right now while I'm talking, what we see in this piece is an endorsement of what we could call the promise of morality. The promise of morality says that if you're good, you will be safe. I suppose the promise of morality says in its most ambitious form, if you're good, you will flourish, you'll be happy. You'll have all good things if you're good. If you have a good soul, good character, if you're a good person, you will be well. But at the very least, the promise of morality says you will not suffer. You'll be safe. The cosmos will protect you. God will protect you if you're good. We all want to believe in the promise of morality. I, for one, don't think we can really live without, at some level, believing in the promise of morality. At the very least, we want it to be true. We want to see the good person prevail, the evil suffer. At the end of the film, at the end of the story, at the end of the story of life, we want to see the good prosper and prevail. We want to see the good rewarded here, now, later, in the hereafter. And to the extent we're unconfident that the good will prevail in this life, we may put our hopes in the next, and in a day of judgment that ensures that morality keeps its promise. We deeply want this. As I said, I don't think we can live without some level believing it. And Catherine Kalaitis says this is the point of Thucydides' telling, Thucydides' rendering of the story of the plague of Athens. She wants to believe it. She wants to believe that if we're good, we'll prevail. This plague, this pandemic, coronavirus, is testing us. It's testing us as a country. It's testing us as a people. And if we're really good, our democracy will survive. And if we're not, we could go the way, our democracy could go the way of Athenian democracy. That's the point of her piece. That's the point of looking back 2,000 years and more to the plague of Athens, to remind us of the fact that we're being tested and that the fates will punish us if we fail this test. I think that this is a misreading of Thucydides. I think that what Thucydides has to tell us is much more disturbing than this. I don't think Thucydides is telling us that the ancient Athenians failed their test, that the plague tested them, they failed, and that's why they lost their democracy. I don't think that's what he's saying at all in these pages. I think what he's saying is something much, much more disconcerting. I'm not sure if we can take what he's saying. I'm not sure if we can take it in. They call Thucydides the founder of political realism. He describes the world as it is. No romance, no fairy tales, no religion, no priors, what our social scientists would call ideological priors, no priors. He just gives us the description of the facts. He shows us the way the world really is. He shows us the way politics really is. My colleagues who teach international relations here at Dartmouth, many of them, Professor Brooks, Professor Woolforth, Professor Press, Professor Lind, they think of themselves as realists. And they look back to Thucydides as the founder of their school. This person, Thucydides, this tough-minded realist, telling us about the way the world really is, he's not telling us that the fates will reward us if we're good and punish us if we're bad. He's telling us something else. Can we take it? Can we take it in? And if we can, what do we do with it? What is it that he's telling us? That is the question of the next part of this lecture. Now's the time to get up, walk around, get a drink, take a pause. I'll be back.